it was hard. Being exposed to the student life was really, really hard. But I really don't know how I got the link to the conference where I even saw the adverts. If I can get to that person, I really owe that person a big, big, big gratitude because that was one of the transformation. So during the first conference, I was not staying on my own. And worst of all, not like I was staying with a roommate. I was staying with my mom, my great grandmother, because the school was actually in my local government. That's my environment, the village I came from. So I was staying with my great grandma when the conference started. I was squatting there. No means of finance outside the little work I was doing in school. And to be honest, it was really fetching me little more. During time, I was elected as the class rep of my department of my class. So it was now hard juggling through my responsibilities as the class rep and the work I was doing to keep myself going as a student. So during the conference, Miss Esther Akodu gave her wonderful story on how she went through school, juggled through so many activities, and still came out victorious. Her result was shocking. When she told us her first result, it was really wonderful. And it was just as if she was picturing the exact thing I wanted. So after going through that, I decided to make a change. Hearing her, then I asked a question. One of the guest speakers responded. I asked, how can I juggle my activities as a class rep and still earn my finance? Because looking at it primarily, I was thinking I will have to leave one for one. Either I just focus on my duty and whatever is fetching me money. And the funny part was I was working and I was earning money, but I was still calling home to send money at some time. I was still calling home to send money. But then after my question was answered, I saw a platform whereby I don't need to select any of it. I can hold the boat and I can still stay stable. I left the work I was doing at that time because during the conference, then after the conference, I saw a light. I saw something that I could do that would earn me more better cash than that inside the class rep work, inside the class rep duty. Actually, sorry, not work. Inside the class rep duty, I was able to occupy a platform whereby I started earning money, like the aspect of getting people to do go through their project work because I found out that I can use my abilities of typing and computer work. Then I was able to cover up project works. I was able to cover up practicals for students, my fellow students. So as being the class rep, I was looked up to as the number one trusted person in the class that can handle such duties. So then I was given that privilege to cover up almost the whole practical of the whole class and the project work. And that was fetching me more money than I was getting before. And before the conference, I did not actually know that I had the abilities to do that. So I I just did that. I just did that, and then I was making money. No problem. And then I was making money. From there, I left my grandmother's place. I left there. I rented a house of my own after some time. Now, my location during the first accelerated student conference, the first year, and my location now is two different locations. Back then I was squatting. Presently now I'm living on my own with my own finance by the grace of God. I have not called home for once for finance. Normally, as a student, 1 or 2 times we get broke, but the platform for getting money, or should I say the chance of getting money did not cease. Even if there's none today, we are sure of what to do to make money come the next day because of the conference. I saw that, and still on, I'm even sending money home instead of receiving. I really owe Miss Akodu that thanks. Like she really changed my life. Her story alone was what I needed to excel as a student. I'm really, really grateful for her, and I'm sure that I will get more of these benefits during this Accelerated Student Conference 2.0. Thank you very much, ma.
Wow, wow, wow. So Trevor has told us how much she has learned from the last, and I hope that our story will motivate you to pay attention to this 3 days conference to get empowered. All right, so Dorcas Idoru, can you please unmute your microphone and let's hear you too. Let's hear you. We are glad to hear you. We are glad to hear some testimonies. Can we hear you? Is Dorcas still online? You can actually unmute your microphone so that won't take much time. Okay, so Dorcas is not here. Dorcas is not here. Do we have anyone who joined the last edition? Anyone who joined the last edition who might be interested in telling us his or her story? We need to move very fast. Do we have? You can send a notice in the group so that we can move. So in the next few seconds, if we don't have anyone, we just move. We have to be very fast. All right. So let's just move to the next agenda. In few minutes, I'll be introducing to us our speaker. In few minutes, I'll be introducing to us our speaker. So I'll be sending a bio into the group, and you will read as I'm reading. I want all of us to do it together. I know you might probably know her before, or maybe some of us don't even know her at all. But anyhow, we'll be having our first speaker coming up, and I'm so delighted to actually be privileged. I take it as a privilege to actually introduce her in a big way. So our first speaker for this conference is no other person than our host. I mean the convener for the Accelerate Students Conference in the person of Esther Akodu. So today is day one of the conference, and she will be taking us on the quantum leap to academic success. Let's meet our speaker. Esther Akodu is a lover of God, a graphic designer, and a digital marketer. With creative graphical content, she helps brands increase their visibility that is sure to help them grow in their niche. Over the years, she has helped brands to run ad campaigns and provide optimized social media services to help businesses grow their online presence. She is currently a Canva coach at a Tech Trail Academy, where women in Africa are being taught tech skills. In 2022, she became a first-class graduate of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where she studied business education. Her goal is to empower other great minds too with her skills by sharing her knowledge and teaching them to become great designers too. Over the years, she has trained over 13,000 people across 10 countries on creating Canva designs. She is a convener of the Accelerate Student Conference, a conference aimed at equipping undergraduates to become fully equipped as students. She is a trailblazing advocate for growth and believes in living a purposeful life. I believe that this is such a great bio of our convener, and it's nice that she is the first to approach to speak to us on this conference. However, before she comes in, the social media handles for this conference will be sent to the group now. So everyone has to follow. If you do not, maybe our convener should go and sleep. It means it doesn't worth this conference does not worth it. So I'll be sending the social media handles to the group now. Do well to go and follow them, and I'll be checking those who follow. Until then, our speaker will not come up yet. So I'm sending them in now. Please, let's do well to go and follow. Let's do well to go and follow. We have in 4 minutes our speaker will be coming up. So let's do that very fast. I've sent it to the group, both on Facebook and on Instagram. Let's do that within the next 4 minutes before our speaker comes up. Our speaker coming up. So if you want her to come up, let's go and follow those groups. Let's go and follow the pages. Let's do that very fast. If you've done that, just come here and tell me done. Just like we did for the other one. Just come and tell me done. So let's do that very fast. Follow the Facebook page, follow the Instagram page, and let's move. Some people are already doing that. It is because of us that all these pages are created. So let's show appreciation by following. We have 3 minutes more. Can we? Thank you, positive vibes, thank you. Peaceful peace, I can cite everybody. Please, we have many other people on this group. We have many other people here. Many sacrifices have been made to make sure that those things, those pages are live. Let's do well to join them. All right, thank you. We have few minutes left. We have about 2 minutes left. Let's do that as fast. Make sure you are joining them. There are people there are managers that are checking. Thank you. I can feel this energy. The energy of responding alone shows that you are ready. I hope your notes and your pen, your phones to type are ready. I hope they are ready. I just hope that somebody will not think that I can be hearing alone. Your brain is not computer. Oh. Someone should just tell another person that your brain is not computer. Please get your notes, because our convener will be coming in anytime soon. So we have just 1 minute left. I know there are some other people. I know it's not everybody that have joined. Do well by joining. We are waiting for you. We are waiting. Oh. All right. So with a clapping ovation, I want to see your clapping stickers. Let us make welcome a trailblazing advocate for growth. I have seen Mama Esther showed growth in all aspects. With your clapping ovation, let us welcome her to speak to us tonight, and it will be a very great privilege to hear her speak tonight. Me as a person, she has inspired me in a lot of areas. I don't know of you. Can you keep that clapping ovation coming as we are set to hear from her tonight? Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. We still have many people.
All right. Thank you so much, Gandono. I am so excited to have us here this evening, and I'm happy to be here with us today. Thank you, every one of us that made it to the conference. Wow, I'm glad to see us here. Again, if you have other people that still needs to be here, to tell them that we have started already and they are going to miss out on a lot. I want to appreciate Trevor for sharing his feedback with us, and it was a lot. Like I was expecting I didn't expect as much. I literally didn't expect that, but that was massive. And I know that he can't be the only one. I know that there are definitely going to be other testifiers, right? Other feedback. And from next year, definitely we're going to have more people share their own testimonies and feedback from the edition. And I'm pretty sure you'll be one of them. Would you? So that said, we are going to dive straight to today's session. As she has rightly said, my name is Esther Akodu, and of course, my bio has been read. I would have maybe share my video for a moment. I don't know if you can see me before we proceed. Okay. All right. So I don't know if you can see me, but this is my face. And I am your convener and host for the conference and also the speaker for the first session we'll be having today. So I'm glad to welcome everyone here once again. And I'm excited about the amazing session we'll be having tonight. I'm excited about what we are going to be learning in the next 3 days of this conference. And I'm super excited about the transformation that we're going to be getting, about the things that we're going to be learning, and how much this conference is going to change a lot of us. So I mentioned, please confirm if you can see me. If you can see me, so I can stop sharing my screen. I don't know. All right. Okay. Thank you, Patricia. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. So thank you. All right. So I believe you've seen my face. You've seen the face behind the Accelerate Students Conference, and definitely, probably you get to see me physically someday. On that note, we're going to proceed with the session now. And I really want you to get prepared. I want you to get your notes ready. I want you to prepare your hearts or your mind, everything that needs to be prepared for this session, because it's about to get hot. It's about to get hot. So tonight, for the first session, we're going to be talking about the quantum leap to academic success. The quantum leap to academic success. The quantum leap to academic success. Before I go on, before I fire on, what does quantum leap mean to you? I'm sure you must have heard that before. The theme for the conference is a quantum leap to, is empowered, right? The quantum leap to an excellent student's life. So what do you think quantum leap actually means? What does that mean? When you hear the word quantum leap, what does that speak to you? So I'd like to hear from us before I run off. Okay, Emanuela is saying a significant improvement. Okay. Anyone else? What does quantum leap? I hope it's not a big word. We are mostly undergraduates, so we should be familiar with this word. Okay. All right. Liz is saying advance in something. Favor is saying a groundbreaking achievement. Awesome. Trevor is saying a sudden advancement. Nice. All right. A sudden change or increase. Thank you, Ayomide. Sudden change. Awesome. An extreme change. Abigail, thank you. So we all have an idea of what it now means to have the quantum leap. And that is you moving from one point to another in a very accelerated pace, right? You are shooting from one level to another, and that is what the conference encompasses, right? Not just in terms of academics, because I understand as a student that beyond academics, there is so much more. There is so much more as a student to have an excellent student's life. And that's why we put together this conference, so that we are able to help you. And we want to see, the good thing is that this is November, the 2024 is almost ending, right? However, there's still so much you can get from this year. There's still so much progress you can get. And then we want to see that by the next edition of the conference, we want to see so much results from everyone that participated from the conference. So are you truly ready for the quantum leap? Are you truly ready for this quantum leap that we're talking about? If you are, type in the chat and say, I am ready. If you are, type in the chat and say, I am ready. I am ready. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So I see that you're ready. Moving on. Now, what would you say This is a students' conference. I'm believing that most of us here are either aspiring students or we are undergraduate or fresh graduate, because those are the categories of people that this conference aims to reach, right? So you'd be familiar with a lot of things I'll be talking about as students, and I may be speaking more inclined in the Nigerian university system, right? So I know we have international students here. We have other people that are joining from other countries in the world. So, pardon me, I will be speaking relative to mostly. So what I may share or things I may say may not exactly be the same in your own country, right? But yeah, just follow me as I move. So the university usually, number one, is a place where there is no first position, if I'm not mistaken, right? And you're not in a competition with anyone, right? In the university, nobody is coming to be the first. Nobody is in a hurry to graduate. There is already a structure, and it's either you are coming out with a first class, second class, and all of those classes. But there is no first position, second position, whatsoever. So there is no competition with anyone in the university. Am I right? Also, in the university, it's a place where you expect to learn and know things, where you are expected to learn and know things that took some people years to discover in one semester. And so you would have several courses. I think my sister shared with me when she was in school that for a semester, there's a semester where she had about 20 courses for them to prepare for one semester, and they had to read and pass. And these are things that took some people years to learn, right? And then they expect, we are expected as students to learn it, study, and then pass the exam. Okay, so I also want to say that university is a place where you may sometimes be given a course you did not choose to study, right? Where you have the what I ordered versus what I got, right? And I know this may be the case for some people. For me personally, I didn't want to study the course I ended up studying. I think I had always wanted to be an accountant, but reverse was the case eventually, right? So when it wasn't forthcoming, I had to go for what was available. And I know that may be the case for some people already or not. The university is also a place where it is the survival of the fittest. The survival of the fittest. Not everyone makes it to the end. And so you'd see a lot of people would come in the first year, and you'd realize that not everyone will graduate in the final year. So it is usually the survival of the fittest, because there are a lot of things put into the system to shake you, to make you, it's usually sometimes quite rigorous, and not everyone makes it to the end. And also, the university is a place where you're made to buy handouts and textbooks that you can't finish in a semester. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? I remember several textbooks that I have gotten piled up. They're still piled up. I haven't even read past a few pages of them. So we get to buy the handouts, whether we like it or not. Anyways, the university is also a place where you are usually on your own. And what I mean by that is, when you get in university, no one is particularly following up on you, whether you're studying, whether you are, going for lectures, whether you are really doing things that you should be doing. So whether you decide to chill, enjoy life, and relax in school and not go for lectures, the lecturer will not come and drag you from your house. If you notice, they've never done that. They don't really bother, right? And whether you come for lectures or not, your school fees is going. And by the end of the semester, you will definitely write exam. So it is left to you to decide whether you want to take the responsibility. No parent is coming to force you to read in the university. Nobody is coming to, really check, whether you are doing certain things. So it's a place where you are usually on your own. And pretty much these things are things that some of us can resonate with. That said, we're talking about the quantum leap to academic success. What does success mean? What does success mean? Now, I was thinking about this, and I realized that success means various things to different people, right? Success means different things to different people. When in terms of academic success, for some people, success could mean that, let me just pass, and they should let them give me a D in a particular course. Or for some people, it should just be that, let me just have a B in the course and I'm okay. And for some people, it is A or nothing. For some people, it is first class or nothing. And for some people, I just want to finish without carryover. Honest truth, when I entered university, my own goal, as far as success was concerned, was not to have carryover. I never for once chased first class initially when I started out. I never for once even dreamt or thought that that would be something that was going to be possible for me. Like, it wasn't something that I thought, was going to happen to me. So for me, I didn't think first class was possible. I didn't aim for it initially in my first year, like when I was in school. The only thing was I did not want to fail. I didn't want to have carryover. I didn't want to have to rewrite any exam. So for me, that was the utmost for me. And by the time our first result was out, the first, people went to check the results and came to tell us. And the first thing I just asked, what I was after was that I hope there's no carryover. Like, I had no idea that, there was more beyond that. So that was my own, at that time, understanding of what success was. That was what I wanted. And point being that everyone has what they see success as. And for some, it could just be that they settle for a particular grade. And you're not really chasing first class. I just want to come out of school and then go and do something else. And as far as they are concerned, even when they get a grade that some people may, somebody's saying they can't hear me. Can every other person hear me? Please confirm if you can hear me. Please confirm if you can hear me. All right. Thank you, David. Okay, so I'll fire on. Now, that said, even the education system sometimes, especially in Nigeria, is kind of built to make you feel that don't stress yourself, like, don't bother. Because there are times when some lecturers even tell you that you can't pass my course. Like, I remember I had some lecturers in school then that would tell you, all of you, even before writing the exam, the person will tell us that we are failed or that we will fail. And they already gave us that mindset that it's impossible for us to pass the course. And so some people would only just pray to narrowly escape. And at that point, they've set the bar for themselves of what they attribute success to be. So I wrote here that success means different things to different people. Now, the question now is, to you now, what does success mean to you? So in terms of academic success, are you a student that feels that success is a 5.0 or nothing? Are you a student that feels that I just want to pass all my course and be good, not have any carryover? Or are you a student that aims for, a particular grade in school? So it depends on you, and that's a question you want to answer for yourself. What does success mean to me? So if I'm to ask everyone here, everyone has whatever it is that they're choosing, whatever it is in terms of academic success that will be satisfactory for them. For some people, if they get a D in a course, that is almost as though they failed it. While some people, when they see a D in a course, they are unhappy, right? So it simply means different things to different people. Okay. Please confirm if you can still see my screen. All right. So that said, I'd like to let you understand that regardless of what you attribute success to be, I want you to understand that life is in seasons. Life is in seasons. Even the Bible says that, there's time for everything. There are seasons, even in life. There's the dry season, there's the rainy season, and academics itself is a season on its own. And it's a time that would come and go. It's a time that will not last forever. So why not maximize the season that you have in school well? I always would say this, and I would keep saying it again, that you won't spend forever in school. If you're in your first year now, before you know it, you'll be done. If you're spending 4 years in school, 5, 7 years, it's a season, and it has a beginning. It will surely have an end. So the best thing for anyone would be for you to take advantage of the season you are in right now in school and maximize it properly. Remember that your time in school, you are not just going there to, you didn't just, nobody just you didn't get free entry to school. You know how much you're paying for tuition. You know how much you're spending on textbooks. You know how much you had to spend, for other things, expenses that comes with school. So does it actually make any sense to spend all of those time, all the resources, all the money, the stress that comes with school, and at the end of the day, you don't come out with a good grade that you are proud of? In that way, I would say that time, that season has not been spent well. So a good way to spend the season well is to ensure that you maximize it well, such that by the time you are done with school, you have something that you can be proud of, whether you want to use the certificate later or not. I'm well aware that not everybody would end up looking for jobs. Others want to go into business. Regardless, even if you are not intending to go job hunting with your certificate, if you are going to be in school for that 4 years, having lectures back to back, going through exam stress, why not make it worth it? Why not make it worth it such that you don't look back and have regret or wish that you did some things that you should have done? So the best bet will be for you to maximize your time while you are in school. And I also want you to know that you get what it is that you want. If for you success is just to come out with a regular pass, trust me, chances are that is what you would get. If for you that what you really are chasing after for you is success is for you to come out with a 5.0, there's likelihood that is bound to happen. I think there was someone in my school, Daniel, that graduated with a 4.9. I didn't think, I've always heard it before, but I didn't think that was possible until he told me that was the result he graduated in. I don't know if he's here right now, but that was something that I know that this person has been chasing after, and that was the bar he had set for himself. So what bar did you set for yourself in this season? Where is it up or somewhere below, somewhere comfortable where you are? So it's also a thing of the mind. If your mindset is set to, you just settling for a particular thing, that again is what you will get. So it's a thing of the mindset. And your mindset attached with your words, your behavior, the things that you do, the action that you put in is what results in the level of success that you get in terms of your academics. So if what you have put in or what your mind is set at is a very, just the usual grade, right? And that's what you want. Honestly, that's what you would eventually get. And at the same time, you can have a 5.0 mindset that's what you want to get. And if you do not put in the action that comes with it, you won't get the result that you want. So for you to achieve the certain level of success, it comes with the kind of attitude you put in, comes with, number one, your mindset, of course, comes with the things that you do, the actions you take. So your words alone also is part of those things. The things you say about yourself. You saying that let that lecturer just give me a D. There's no how you not get a D. So it comes with you as well. So at this very moment, I want you to begin to think about it. What would it be that you want to begin to aim for? If you were at that comfortable zone where you were before and you had your mind fixed that I just want to pass through school and let me just finish and come out with a certificate, there's a need for you to shift, to think about it, whether you want to remain at that level or you want to have the quantum leap we are talking about. And that would mean you going out of your comfort zone. It depends on how far you see. Abraham in the Bible, God had to show him, to ask him, he told him that as far as your eyes can see is what I will give you. And the same thing I'm telling you now, as a student, it is as far as your eyes can see is what you will receive in terms of your academic success. If your mind is set for, the comfortable zone, that's what you would get. So you need to deepen your vision. And the question here is, are you shooting for the stars or just anything you get? Are you shooting for the highest you can get to, because honestly, whatever level you are now, you can better that best. Whatever it is that you are doing now, you can do much more than that. I tell you that in terms of your academics. So are you shooting for the stars, or you are comfortable with anything that you get? So that's a question for you to answer. But in this conference, the goal in terms of quantum leap is helping you move from point A to point B. Now you'd see in this slide that it's showing different lines. One is a straightforward line. Now it's maybe for some people that it will be straightforward for them to move from point A to point B. For some other people, it might be the one showing above where it is not that straight. It may not be that easy. Please give me a moment. I may need to join with another device. This one is almost shutting now. So just a moment, please. All right, so I'm here. I'm going to try to okay, just give me a minute. I'm trying to log into my Canvas so I can continue with my presentation. But let me know if you're following and you're getting value from this. If you're following and you're getting value from this. If you're following and you're getting value from this. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, thank you. While I'm trying to still log into my Canva on this other device, just tell me something that you've picked from what I've said so far. Something, if you've gotten anything so far from what I have said. If you've gotten something from what I've said. Hold on. Thank you. I see some people are following already, and I see some people are getting value. Awesome. So it boils down to leaving your comfort zone. It boils down to making sure you are, for you to attain success. I saw a video one time that says you have to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. That is, you have to choose to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. In as much as you may say that you want to just go through school and finish up, in the long run, you don't know where that would be needed. You don't know where that would really be the one thing that would be a saving grace for you. And again, if that is already done, you can't go back to rewrite it, because that's a season that may have ended for you at that time. So why not maximize this time that you have now and use it properly to be able to. All right, so I'm still trying to log into my other device, but meanwhile I'll use my phone to share the screen, depending when I'm able to set that up, hopefully. So that said, I'm going to share my screen again now. All right, please confirm if you can see my screen. All right, so moving on. So I was talking about the need to go beyond your comfort zone and, look out for shooting for the stars. Yeah, that's where I stopped. So I was saying that the goal for the conference is to help you move from point A to point B. But the honest truth is, looking at the line at the center, you notice that it is straightforward. The truth is, to move from that point A to B is not always going to be a straightforward journey. It's not always going to be smooth. It's not always going to be easy. And so that's why a lot of people are comfortable and we just want to relax and follow the easy route. But the truth is, to get a better result, you have to shift yourself out of your comfort zone to move forward from that point A to point B and to get the quantum leap that you desire. So indeed, you can get that quantum leap that you want. I don't know whether you've had cases where you've tried before. You've tried to improve your grades. You've tried to improve your academics, and it doesn't seem like that. But I'm telling you that it is possible, and it is not something impossible. I want to confirm if somebody is still. Someone said you can see my screen. Okay, so I see you can see it now. Now let's talk about how to attain a quantum leap to academic success. Let's talk about how to attain a quantum leap. How is it possible? I've been talking about it. I've been talking about moving from point A to point B. How does that happen? Number one is to set clear goals. You've got to be clear about your goals. Before you start every semester, what is that goal you want to attain? What is that thing you want to do? Right? It is important that you get to know, if you're on break now, it's important that you get to know the goals you want to set for yourself. Many times, one of the things that we fail to do is we don't even know what we want. So again, I shared with you how that I didn't even I wasn't shooting for the stars. I just wanted to, go to school and not fail and come out well. But eventually, here's what happened. By the time I got to a semester, that same semester, the first semester, I think I went for our church at Foursquare Camp. We had this, I think, teenagers program. I went as a counselor or something. And then that was all, whether it was convention or something, I can't remember. But it was at that point, I saw someone came to share testimony of how, or they gave an award to him of how he was the best graduating student in his school. And I asked myself, like, this person I'm seeing here does not have it, right? And the person doesn't even, like, I felt at that point that if this person would achieve this thing for me as well, it is possible as well for me to be able to get to this point. And so right there where I was, I wrote down, he shared about how he wrote down the CGPA he wanted to graduate school with and, what he wanted to get. And that was exactly what he got. So by faith as well, I wrote down the CGPA I wanted to graduate with. I wrote it down somewhere. I think I wrote 4.81. And even though I wrote it, I didn't believe. Anyways, not like I didn't believe. I trusted God. But I had this doubt within me concerning my capability. But by faith, I was believing God for a miracle because I knew it to be a miracle for me to get that kind of grade I had written down. But as God would have it, again, remember I said that if you have set a particular bar for success for yourself, chances are that is what will come by hard work, also by faith, right? Also by your, the things you say. It matters a lot. And so for me at that point, even though normally my normal self would not have thought about it, I believe God had to help me change my vision for me to be able to get to where He needed me to get to. And that was why I was able to get that experience to get to know about that person. And when that happened, I changed my goal immediately. My mindset shifted. And from that moment on, every prayer point and every time I spent reading, the goal was now for me to be able to meet up with the goal I had set for myself. So I prayerfully wrote it down, but I also began to work on it. And by the time my results will come out, I think I saw a 4.7 something, I can't remember. It was close. It wasn't exactly what I wrote, but it was very, very close to what I had written down, which I did not think in my wildest dream would have been possible. But the goals I set for myself changed. So now you want to identify what goals do I want to set for myself. what do I want to graduate with? Do I want to graduate with a particular result? Do I want to graduate with, at a particular level? Do I want to get a particular CGPA this semester? Do I want to get a particular grade in this semester? You take out time to even write it down. I always make reference to the Bible, right? The Bible says that we should write a vision and make it plain. They're wrong with it. So write it down first. What goals do you want to set for yourself? What is it that you want to attain? What level do you want to get to this semester? Set clear goals for yourself. Secondly, start early, start well, and finish strong. You need to know that it's important that you're starting early, right? You are starting
I think she's having
Can you hear
network
me?
work.
Can you hear me, please?
We can hear you, ma'am.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. So moving on, I was talking about starting well, starting early, and finishing strong. Now, this is particularly for those that are probably in their first year, second year, or that are still aspiring students. One of the blessings I had then was we had some students that were in final year come to our class then when we just entered first week and came to give us an orientation and share with us courses that we can even pass very easily, and also letting us understand that for your first semester is the first year where you can get the best grades. So if you're able to, and it's going to be the easiest semester, because as you progress from one semester to another, it's kind of maybe more challenging. And so for me, I got to know early enough that for my first semester, I had to get the best grade. I had to, get a very good grade for me to start well. So I put in all effort. I make sure to take advantage of that first semester. And by the time I got, the grade I had, it was easier for me to keep up with that same pace. Because by the time I got to my final year, the honest truth is it became really crazy because there were now more things for me to do. From my third year, actually, I think I became leader in the fellowship, and it was very, very, it was a lot. And I also had, that was when I started learning design. So I had something I was going to get sort of income for myself. I had to stop asking money from the house so that I can, I had the skill and I was using that to get a source of income for myself. And at other times I had tutorials that I was doing, I took up home lessons as well, even while I was in school. And there were times when I was also sewing. So I'm a fashion designer. So I would also take up, some sewing engagements too. And then, so it was not as smooth from my third and fourth year. And for the final year, it was even more cumbersome. I could remember that I would go to classes several times and then I would just be sleeping. Because most times at night, I'm either preparing for, a fellowship event program, or I'm having a design I'm trying to catch up with, or I have a design class, and I barely had no time for myself. And 400 level, I didn't even have notes. It was that bad. Like, I didn't really have notes when, the first few months that we started. And I'd even go to library to read and still sleep off. Or sometimes I go to library to read and I'm still busy with fellowship tasks. And so I didn't have that focus. Imagine if I did not have that kind of good foundation that I had put in for myself. It would have been a struggle for me to be able to keep up with that same pace. So it made it easier for me to still be able to finish well. However, even if you probably did not, get to start All right. So I was saying that even if you probably weren't able to start as well as you wanted initially, or maybe you're already in your final year, or maybe you're thinking that there isn't really anything that you can do anymore, and your grade isn't as high as you wanted it to be. I tell you that it's still not impossible for you to still finish well. You can still have good grades and finish up with an amazing result, because I had one of my friends lesson. She also, I think, she started off with a grade that wasn't really very high. I think it was a 2 point something. By the time she was able to pick up, there were a lot of issues. If you're in Yaba Tech, you'd understand all those accommodation issues and all of that. Those things in school sometimes accumulate to affect students' stability. Now, in the end, by the time she began to pick up the pace, a lot of things changed, and from that 2 point, she was able to graduate with a second class upper and graduated with a good grade. So I'm trying to use this other device, hoping that it would be better, but I don't know why it's taking forever to load. Okay. All right. So anyways, what I was saying is, even though she didn't start with a very good grade initially, by the time she was going to finish up, because she was able to put in more effort, she was able to concentrate more on academics and also set higher goals for herself, it became easier for her to finish well. And so if your grade right now, you're thinking that it's too low, it's not impossible for you to pick it up, because it's almost like you are getting a fresh start every semester for you to really pick up every semester. So each semester you get, for you to pick it up, what do you do with it? If you're able to maximize it well and you get very good grade in a semester, it accumulates your CGPA and then you have better results. So point being that, even if you remember, I was looking up about marathon, people that run marathon, and how that if you're running a marathon, you don't necessarily have to start with a very, very high speed where you're running and running very fast, or else you get easily worn out. So you have to start steady, and then it is towards the end that you pick up the pace. The truth about finishing well is that as you keep on progressing, you don't say because you've gotten to a particular level or you've gotten a particular grade, you're going to relax or something. You have to double the effort every single semester. So look at your CGPA for last semester and look at where you want to be next semester and see how much work you now have to double in to put in for that. So it's going to be more work. Okay, so I was saying that it's going to be more work. It's going to mean that you have to double the pace as you keep progressing, and even when you're about finishing with school. So it's possible to start well and finish well. It's possible that even if you did not start so well, you can still finish well. So don't zero your mind or give up on yourself or think that that's the end. It is possible for you to still get better grades while in school. With that said, another thing I would like to say, or the next thing, is to understand yourself and know what works for you. And by this, I mean you should understand who you are, understand yourself. And you have to understand that we have different levels of intelligence, right? Different levels of intelligence, I mean. The fact that, I'm saying this for the sake of people that may think they are not book smart, or they are not, maybe you have been trying to read a course and you just realize that it's been a struggle, or you have experienced failure in any course before, or you've had a carryover whatsoever. It's to tell you that the fact that you have failed a course before doesn't make you a failure. The fact that you have failed at a particular course before doesn't mean you have failed in life, right? It may only mean that you need to work on certain things to strengthen yourself to make it better. So you're not a failure, right? I read in psychology when we're in school, about, I think, a topic we did back then, it's about intelligence, right? And one of the things I discovered is that there are different kinds of intelligence, levels of intelligence, right? Some people are book smart, while some other people are what's it called? They can be smart in other aspects. Some people they are very good in terms of art. Some people are very, and for some people they are very good in terms of cooking. They are skillful, but when you bring maths to them, it will seem as though you want to kill them. So some people may be like that. It doesn't mean that you are. It doesn't mean that you are not intelligent. You may just have a level of intelligence in another aspect, right? So you may be smart in one aspect, but in terms of academics, maybe that there may be some weaknesses. So point being that this thing is joking with me. Okay. All right. No, Allah, we shall not be moved. Okay. So moving on, I was saying that if you've been maybe having a struggle with a course, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you are a dullard. It doesn't mean that you are not intelligent whatsoever. It just simply means that you may have strength in other areas. So leverage more on your strength. Don't envy other people because they are doing well academically. I always still think, and I still say sometimes, that I feel that some of people in my class are even more intelligent than I am. I feel that some of them are smarter than I am. I feel that they even know much more than I am, than I do rather. It may just be that I've understood myself well enough and I'm able to sit down to really study, knowing fully well that I'm not exactly a fast learner. But some of them are even faster learners than I am. But they did not, I feel, I just learned to understand my strength more. I learned to understand the things I needed to work on more, and I leveraged that for me to get the result I wanted. So don't try to compare yourself with other people. Don't try to feel intimidated because some people are maybe acing their results or they are doing better. You're running your own race, and you're not in a competition with anyone but you. So keep reminding yourself of the things that you do so well. Keep reminding yourself of the things that you excel at very well, and try to use that to boost your morale, and then identify areas that may be your weaknesses. Identify areas that may be your weaknesses, and then begin to see how you can build yourself. For me, I shared on my status on Monday while we're doing the pre-conference session. I was sharing how that when I entered school for my first semester, I was struggling to read. I had a lot of struggles. Like I would read a particular page, a line, and I'll forget. Like it wasn't entering. It was very hard to assimilate. It was very hard to even remember. And so I'd have to read a page over and over. I come back to it again the following day and try to remember, and then I forgot. I have to go back again. And I got frustrated at a point. I got tired. But I understood that I can't go back on my paid school fees. So this thing, we either pass it or we pass it. So either we win or we win. So that was it. I began to, I took out time to pray, of course. And I understood then that I needed to start reading early because I wasn't a fast learner. I understood that I had to read things repeatedly before I remember them. And so imagine if I had to wait till exam will start. That's zero for me. One time I tried it, I think when I was in my final year, when there was no time to read, and there was one exam there. I know some people cram when reading. They don't read, they cram, right? But for me, it doesn't work for me. I have to read to understand, right? And for that exam, I had to cram because there was no time. But by the time I got to the exam, I literally forgot everything I'd read. I could not even place one for one. I don't know if it has happened to you before, but I got to the exam hall and so they erased my memory. Like they wiped everything up. I did not even know what to write. That was the experience for me at that time, right? And it made me remember that, this doesn't work for me. Cramming does not work for me. Some people, it works for them. But for you, you may now begin to compare yourself with other people that the only thing, they can cram a night before exam and read a whole textbook, enter the exam hall and put everything down back to back, word for word. But your own brain is not like that. You are not the same with them. Understand yourself. Understand what works for you. For some people, they love to read in the night, and you see them during the day playing and joking around, and you join them to joke. You that you know in the night they cannot wake you up to read. If they mistakenly wake you up, that is error. Because you will sleep. I'm talking about myself, okay? For people like us, we don't read at night. During the night, if I happen to go to the library with my friends to read at night, I usually they will wake me up tired. I will keep sleeping, and it's always intentional. I like my night sleep. Let me sleep well, and so I can't actually compare myself with people. My roommate then she wake up in the night to read, and me, I'll be sleeping, because during the day I know that's when I would read and I will be active. So know yourself. If there's someone that can read 2 weeks to exam, good. But if you know you don't have a magnetic brain, and you know you are like me that has to read things, imagine me, someone like me, that struggle to remember things, that struggle to assimilate, that have to read repeatedly and still being able to graduate with a good grade. That shows that you are not a dollar. That shows that you too can do it. If I can. Honestly, I still my sister, my friends sometimes when they a lot of times I still forget things, and they wonder how did I graduate from school? How did I even get the first class I got? Because like it's still something that but it's because I know myself. And I'm saying this because there's some people also that may be like that. You may wonder why, okay, you read something that you keep forgetting, or you may wonder why you are struggling, or you take forever to understand something. Keep at it. But make sure that you pace yourself well. Don't follow other people's pace. Don't try to run with other people's clock. Don't try to do what other people are doing. If some people are reading 1 hour and then they play for the remaining 23 hours, you know that yourself, and you know you have to read 4 hours instead of that 1 hour. Work with that. So, understand yourself. Understand what works for you. Number four is to put in the work. We've talked about setting goals for yourself. We've talked about, starting well. We've talked about understanding yourself. Even if you write the goals and you paste it on your wall and you memorize it and recite yourself every day, and you only put it on your pillow and you sleep off, the zero will still wait for you. So beyond writing the vision, beyond writing what you want, put in the work. Be diligent and dedicated. Do not be lackadaisical about your academics. Do not be relaxed. Don't stay in your comfort zone. Again, I told you, if you're in university, you're on your own. Nobody is coming to chase you around to read. Nobody will come and do follow-up and ask you, have you studied? Maybe some of you have, but some of us we didn't have. So it is your responsibility. You need to realize that you are responsible first for your own life. Nobody else can read for you. They can do exam for you. I'm sorry, they can't do exam for you. They can write, they can do assignments. Some of us outsource assignments to people, and some people even outsource tests to people. But that exam, you will still go and face yourself in the mirror. You will still, and it is what the way you are that you see yourself in the mirror. So it changes nothing. You are responsible for your life. And you have to take responsibility now and put in the work. Again, I said the road to that quantum leap, that success you want to attain, is not going to be straightforward. It will require, it will come with a lot of curves. It will come with a lot of sleepless nights. When I was in my first year, I didn't used to wake up at night to read because I didn't need it. It was first year. I was able to start reading early. The second year, there was more. And then I had to start reading at night. I had to start going to the library to read. And as the years progressed, I had to become somebody that read at night and during the day. Because one thing is, when you set a particular bar now, you've seen your first result, people want you to beat. Again, you have to always better your best. Remember, I've said it before, you can't be on the same level. So for me at that time, after seeing my first semester result, I knew it had to be better every semester. You can't be going back, you can't decline. So that was more responsibility for me. And I would say that for whom much is given, much is much is given, much is expected. I remember the case of the talent, someone that had 5 and more was given to the person. So every time more is expected of you. Don't think your time is for you to relax and ask for. It is nice. Enjoy school life. School life is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. But it also has to be a time when you put in as much work as you can, when you are diligent. Bible also says that seest thou a man diligent in his work, he will stand before kings and not before mere men. So if you are one that wants to really stand before kings, you know that you have to burn the midnight candle. You know that you can't be sleeping. I remember a case when we were in the library and somebody, it was during the day, we had read over the night. Me, I managed to reach my slept more anyways. But by the time we woke up by 5 a.m. or that's 6, that was when our alarm rang. And then that was she slept throughout and she had an exam that morning. And she was like blaming everybody. Why didn't you wake me up? Why didn't you wake me up? And it's already too late. And that's how some people are. You sleep throughout. Like you don't have a schedule for yourself. You don't really have there's no system that works for you to be able to read, that you put in place for you to read or study or prepare for the exam. Do what you put in the work. It's not going to be better. It's not going to be easy. It requires a lot of work. But 5 is to have a tribe of friends with same goals. One of the things that helped me strongly were the people around me. My first year, I met with my friend Tope, it was my classmate, and we just got to meet then. And she was talking about how that she wanted to start coming to the school, sleep over to be reading. If you're in Yaba Tech, you can come to school, you sleep in the classroom. And I imagine her coming to school where, there was bed work then, mosquitoes. And you will leave the comfort of your house, come and sleep in school to read. Is it that hard? Is it that bad? Like, why is school like supposed to be that serious? And so me, I was thinking, I thought that maybe I would also come. My mind did not carry it. My spirit body also did not carry it. So I could not afford to leave my bed to come and sleep in the class because I want to read. But I told myself that if I will be staying at home, I will make sure to read while she's in school. Like she's in school reading. I'll make sure that while I'm at home as well, I will be reading in the night. And I started that. Even though it was hard, I know I slept, let me say 89% of the time, but I still put in that work. So I had that person that inspired me to start preparing early. And then as we progressed, we had other people. I came across, I was blessed to meet some people that became a blessing to me, right? The likes of, my friend Amidola, Blessing, and my beloved friend Omolara. These are people that we share the same goals together. And I remember Omolara when we were roommates, and while we were together, she would wake up in the night because, apparently in the first year, she had a carryover. And I remember her crying so hard. You think somebody died because she didn't expect that to happen. But immediately I saw that had happened. The following semester, you can't imagine how serious she took studies, and she started reading more than I was reading. It began to challenge me that it looks like me, I'm already sleeping and joking with my time. Me that I thought, I already had a good grade. But seeing somebody else putting in so much work challenged me to even do much more. And so we would even all go and make sure we are studying together, preparing. These are people that influenced me as well. They would think that I was the one influencing them, but to be honest, they also contributed and helped me. And I'd say that because of the kind of relationship we had together, my friend Omolara struggled a lot with calculation courses. We had accounting, and she struggled so hard with calculation. I remember that I would stay behind in school to teach people accounting, what we learned in class. I would stay till when it's dark, right? I wasn't collecting any money. I was happy doing that. I didn't mind explaining to 10 people the same thing over and over again. And so even after I explained over and over, she still would not get it. And then I'll still have to take her personally and teach. Now imagine if there was no relationship of that sort, having someone that can really help through that struggle. It may have been harder and more difficult for her to understand that course. But because we had that relationship and friendship, right? The kind of friends that you have, the kind, even this person trying to market something, okay. So the kind of friends that you have, the kind of people you move with can influence you. It shouldn't be friends that will tell you are reading too much, or friends that will tell you you are being too serious with school, or they'll laugh at you when you're trying to joke, when you're trying to study. Look for friends that are driven, that are going the same direction. Not everybody is going the same direction as you. If you are in Nigeria, you know, okay, everybody enters public transport. You know that everybody will drop at their bus stop at a point in time. Is that even though you enter a bus going to Agege, some people will drop before the Agege, and they would definitely have their own bus stops. So not everybody is going your direction. Not everybody came from the same background. You know where you're coming from. And you can't move with people that are going nowhere. You can't move with people that don't even have direction. You can't follow their path if it is different from yours. So look for people that are driven like you. Look for people that are going the same direction with you. Don't follow people on their own journey, but rather follow people that are willing to, to also go the same direction as you're going. Because of time, I'll move on. The sixth one is to put God at the center of it all. Trust me, even if I had written the whole CGP I wanted to get, even if I had read hard, again, I told you that I wasn't the smartest in my class. And by the grace of God, while I was in school, throughout, I maintained the first class. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I may have been the only one. I think I was the only one that graduated with the first class. Like, I had the first class from the first year till we graduated. And I could tell you that it's only by the mercies and the grace of God, not by power. It's not because I read more than some people. Honestly, some people read more than I did. Not because I am more intelligent than some people. Some people still are more intelligent than I am. But there is what we call grace. And that's where the God factor comes in. That's where God can help you stand out amongst the crowd. That's where He can single you out. There is God helping you through it all. And you need to understand that your journey in school is not a one-man thing. It's you in partnership with God. For those that may not be, whether you're not, I know everybody, or most of us, we believe that there is God, of course. So with God, you know that, of course, nothing is impossible. So it is partnership with God that helps you achieve that quantum leap, that success that you want. Don't remove God from the equation and think that you can achieve it all by yourself. Don't assume that it's only when you have exam. I was in school, there's only during exam period that people will come for success prayers. We used to have what we call success prayers. You come to pray for exam. That's when the crowd will be plenty. People that did not come to, that are not been to leadership for come around and all of that. Don't be one that is always clingy or looking out for how you can maybe, how do I put it now? Let God lead you. Let God be at the center of everything that you do. Because God first, every other thing follows. If you're able to put Him at the center of everything, it makes everything easy for you. So don't try to run by your strength. Don't try to achieve your goal by your power, because it would wane. You would lose the strength in the long run. But the only one that can keep you going is God. So put God at the center of everything. If you are struggling with a cause, take it to God. If you're having any issues whatsoever, if you have a particular goal you set for yourself, take it to God as well. So God should be primary at all that you do. Now, how do we maintain balance? Because this is one of the things that I really wanted to share and talk about. A lot of students struggle through school because you're probably trying to fund yourself. You're probably working. You have other things. And if you are a fellowship person, you know that's like another work on its own. And that requires more level of responsibilities. That means you have to do more. For me, in my I think it was 200 level that I began to be more serious with, okay, let's attend fellowship and all of those things. And then 300 level, it was much more. There was responsibility. I served in the fellowship till I graduated, and it was hard. Honestly, I barely had time to sleep at some point. And I needed a source of income. Anyway, so I had to be working. So now, Now, someone's asking about number 5. Number 5 is have a tribe of friends with the same goals. That's Trevor. Okay. So it was very hard for me to balance everything because I was trying to juggle a lot of things. That was when I started even teaching design. I was having tutorials for the freshers in our school that were also doing my course. I studied business education. So I had tutorials, I organized tutorials for freshers in my school as well. And that was a lot of work. I had to teach some people this graphic design in our fellowship as well. I had to, I told you I was doing home lessons, tutorials, and a lot of things like that. So there was actually a lot on my plate. But even though at the point it became overwhelming, to be very honest, but it was eventually possible for me to create a balance. And here is how. This is what I'll be sharing with us next. Number 1 is I built a system and structure that worked for me. I built a system. In terms of system, I mean, what are the strategies you want to put in place to ensure that one thing does not suffer for the other? Now, literally categorize the different areas of spheres of life as a student. As to number 1, you have the academic life. Number 2, you have your spiritual life. Number 3, you have your relationship life. And number 4, we have your social life, right? And then you have your personal life, right, for yourself, because in as much as you're trying to run around to academics, maybe make money. Some people, for some business, you are doing business or you're working. Then as much as trying to be everywhere, your personal, your state of mind is important, so that school does not drive you crazy, okay? Because if you don't have that mental balance, it will be a struggle. Your health, the way you even look at a student, you shouldn't appear shabby, looking shabbily, or you shouldn't come out looking tattered or for because you're a student. Usually during exam period, look at how people look like versus how they enter school. You'll see that there is usually a difference, because when you enter school initially, first the beginning of the semester, everybody will be looking fresh. But when exam period comes, just try to look at them. You will see is an opposite. So if in that scenario, what I'm trying to say is that we have different aspects of life, and you can easily balance if you're able to put structures to it. Now, one thing that helped me is I sketched out the time I have during the day. So I have 24 hours every day. I decided on the time I will spend to sleep, right? How many hours? If before I used to sleep for 10 hours, I decided that, okay, I can't remember how many hours I shortened it to anyway. Well, I decided that I need to, I shortened it to 8 hours instead of the 10 hours I did before, right? If I need to maybe attend to schoolwork, I can decide that, okay, because we'll go for lectures during the day, from this time to this time is when school will be, and that's what I'll be doing. What other thing can I do while I'm in school that I need to do in terms of maybe design? As a graphic designer, I can easily do design anywhere. Most times, even when I'm in the I'm going to school, or when I am in class, I'm designing, I'm trying to maximize that time, not just gisting and sleeping or walking about. So you need to be able to put in structures that work for you. It also helps me to have a to-do list. So every morning I had a note. I think I was in my phone, either a notebook or my phone. So even in your phone, you have a notepad where every morning, usually it helps if you're able to write a to-do list a day before, so that by the time you are waking up, your body, spirit, and soul realizes that I'm waking up to do so and so thing. So if you can write the things you want to do tomorrow, just them down. And if possible, the moment you wake up, go over them. Because I know you may think, if I write it, I will not do it. Write it down and make sure to look at it from time to time. And as you write the things you need to do, what would also help is to fix in time. What time am I supposed to do this thing? Within what time to what time? This will help so that it won't be the time when you should be focusing on, if you're a business person, focus on your personal business, or if you are someone that is learning a skill, focus on learning a skill, that somebody will not come and greet you and tell you to follow them to the market. And you leave everything you're doing and you're going because you don't have anything that you're doing. No. If you already have things in place that you already know, by so and so time, you should be doing this thing. When distractions comes, it's easy for you to say no. But if you don't have that attention, you don't know that, okay, by this time is my reading time. When distraction comes, you too, you follow. So for some people, we don't even know when we want to read. It is any time of the day that it works. And at the end of the day, you realize that you don't end up reading. So it would help you to build systems, right? Create a to-do list for yourself. Create a to-do list for yourself. I'm talking about how to maintain balance as a student. So create a to-do list for yourself every time. Flesh out your 24 hours. What are the things you need to focus on? Sometimes you may need to cut off some. The second thing here is determine your priorities and limit distractions. What are the things that are priorities to you? At the point I had to cut off some engagement. When I saw that it was overwhelming, I was volunteering for a couple of things then. So because I had free time, and for me, I'm not someone that would always want to be idle. I love watching movies a lot, but I didn't at that stage in my life, I knew that there was more. So I had to, I was busy is my point. But when more responsibility came, I had to figure out what are the priorities I need to focus on now. What are the things I can take off right now? And so I had to reach out to people. Oh, look, for now, because I have a bigger assignment, by the grace of God, I served as the coordinator of my fellowship at that time. And so there was so much more. And the truth is, we were only about 4 executives. At that time, we were just moved to the campus. They moved us from our main campus to Ekpe campus. And so we didn't even have a fellowship venue. There was nothing on ground. The whole place was bushy. Everything was, we didn't have members per se. We didn't really have members. Everyone was just there. We didn't have any worker. We had just 4 executives. And that tells you that I had to do so much. I was coordinator, I was follow-up, I was evangelism card, I was graphic designer, that was me, the PRO, I was so many things. And taking up all of that responsibility at that point in time was a lot. And so you can imagine me saying I want to pick up other things. And I still remember that the primary purpose of me coming to school was not to come. All right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, thank you. So I'll share again. Sorry, that was the network. Someone is saying they can't see my screen, so I'll stop sharing and then share again. Okay, so I was saying that at that point I had numerous responsibilities, as you can already tell. And so being the one that has to coordinate the fellowship, and we were able to even grow beyond, there was a lot of work. Some of the fellowship members are here, and some of them know how much work had to be put in. Now, imagine if I did not put structures in place and realize that academics actually. Now, for me at that point in time, when we would do our FYB week, I couldn't really participate because I know if I still go and do FYB, that's final year, what's it called? There's social week. Yeah, social week. So usually in universities, I'm pretty sure some schools do social week. So during that time, I had to choose between doing social week or using that time to prepare for exam, because I was already far behind. Remember I told you that I didn't even have notes at a point because I was everywhere. It was that hard. And eventually I had to decide to put aside the social week and focus on my academics. So that at that point was me trying to determine my priorities, right? What are the things I need to cut off? What are the things I need to pay attention to? There are times when you may even need to delegate to people. There are times when you need to outsource things to people. There are times when if you're someone that is very busy, you have a lot of work, if you can maybe pay some people to do some things for you so that you don't have to be everywhere. That's where systems and structures come in play. I learned this from Mr. Michael Yusuf, one of our speakers that will be coming to speak to us. And he mentioned this. I didn't even know that was what I was doing at that point in time. So one thing I did in fellowship then, because when I saw it was a lot, I had to look out for people that were willing to, serve and that came in as workers. And I delegated, things that needed to be done to everyone. You're taking, you are going to be in charge of planning this particular program. And, everyone had things to do. Because if I didn't do it that way, I'll faint. And the primary reason of me coming to school is not to come and do other things, not to come and make money, it's not to come and be a fellowship leader, it's not to come and have a social life. It is for me, first of all, to focus on academics, because that's why I'm paying school fees. But I told myself that, Esther, by the time you are graduating from school, you will not carry fellowship certificates to go and show your parents. And you not tell them that it's because of fellowship that you are not having a good grade. Nobody wants to hear that. That's not why they are paying school fees. And so I had to tell myself that this one must not suffer because I am in this one. And there has to be that balance. So determine your priorities and limit distraction. Number 3, avoid procrastination. A lot of people are guilty with this. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And later never comes. Your second name self is later. Avoid procrastination at all costs. There are things you need to do. Make sure to do it. That's why I keep saying put in time for things that you need to do. If you write out your schedule, what time, from what time to what time. If somebody calls you that time, you are supposed to be doing this thing. If you are reading from what time to what time, it's not that time. If they call you, put your phone on flight mode or use DND so that you don't get distracted. Right? If you are spending that time to pray or you're using that time to study your Bible, because that's part of being a student life, right? Make sure you are able to kill out any form of distraction and do not procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Don't say you'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow will never come. Do it now. Do it now. So take steps at a time. Like they always say, tick. What you have to do quick. So do it now. Don't do it later. If that man is telling you that you want to do it later, slap yourself on, or give yourself a knock on the head. I am doing it now and not later. So kill procrastination. Run away from it. Procrastination is one of the enemies of man. Run as far away from it as you can. And shun procrastination. Tell it goodbye forever. That from this moment on, things I need to do, I'll do it now and not later. Next is discipline. I've talked about this before. It's possible to write down to do list and not even follow up with it. It's possible for you not to pay attention to things that you need to do. It still boils down to your own discipline, your level of discipline to carry out the things that you have written down. The part of discipline still falls down to even waking up. Sometimes you may decide that you want to wake up, with what I've said, that you want to start waking up by 6 a.m. to read, right? Because maybe during the day you're busy. That's part of the things about balancing students' life. You may realize that you have too many things to do. And if I'm waking up by the same 6 a.m. I used to wake up before, it won't work. So maybe I should start waking up by 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. so that I can read 2 hours before I start. Because even now that you will think that after school life will be easier or simpler. The honest truth is a lie. It is from one level to another. It doesn't end. You continue. It's even going to be more work. So if you can't even create structure for yourself now as a student, you will struggle after school with it. And so that's why you need to sort it out now. Get that sorted out now and be able to learn this thing that we call discipline. Learn creation of this structure and system that I'm speaking about. So maintain discipline. If you're saying you want to wake up by so time, I told you I struggled with I used to sleep a lot. Now I can't afford to anyways, because there's so much more to do. I have to wake up earlier than I used to, even now as a graduate. So there's so much more to be done. But at that time, I set alarm for 6 o'clock, 6:05, 6:10, and still not wake up. It was very difficult. But at the point, I told myself I had to discipline myself in this manner. So there are things that you are still struggling with as a student. It is discipline it takes. Some of it is movies. I used to do that a lot. I watched movies a lot. That's my favorite thing. I love watching movies. But when it is time to really be serious and study, I use it as a means of motivation for myself. So I think when I was trying to write my jam back then, I'll read for like 1 hour and watch movies for 30 minutes just to keep myself motivated and I won't be bored. And I still did it when I entered university too. So I read for some hours and then I watch a movie for some minutes. Just so that okay, somebody said anime. Okay, some of you that like watching Korean movies, some of you that like watching Indian movie. Indian movie is 3 hours, but you cannot read for up to that 3 hours. You will watch Korean movies back to back series. How many hours? From one season to the other. And after what you still gist with some people about the movie you just watched, and you have spent the whole day watching movies, and you have not read. Try day. Is that discipline? You know yourself. For some, it is social media. Once you enter Instagram, that's the end. Or once you go on TikTok, oh God. That's why you finish your data and then you look for someone that will now buy another data to continue. Focus on the reason why you're in school. Build discipline. Some people said they do with you. Okay, thank God. I've already seen them. Build discipline. Build discipline. Some of those things can come after exams. You have holiday. You can watch finish yourself. Like, use it to spoil yourself. Watch as many movies that you want during the holiday. But once you're in school, let that discipline be there, that this is the time for studies. And that's what it would be. If you know you are addicted to watching movies, delete them. I told my sister recently, like for a long time now, that I don't want her to be sending me Korean movies because if I start watching episode 1, I won't want to stop. I will leave work and be watching movies. And I didn't want that for myself. So I preferred not to collect that. I rather watch a movie that I can finish in an hour or 2. And I now watch only on weekends. I watch movies only throughout the week. This is part of, I told you, movies is one of what I love doing. I love watching, but I have to sacrifice that because there is more. I told myself that the people that I am watching in the movies, they have made it in life. Me that I am sitting down to watch them in a movie, what have I achieved? So I had to think and wake myself up. But there is more to these things. There are things that you need to cut off. Cut them off and be disciplined. Moving on. I'm going to end this part because my time is up already. Don't settle for less when you can be more. Don't settle for less when you can be more. Don't settle for a low level of success when you can attain more. There is so much more you can attain. There's so much more you can experience. There's so much more. There is so much more, right? Contend for the spirit of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. There is a spirit in man, according to the Bible, says that gives him understanding. So even with everything I've said, there is still this spirit of excellence, like the one that was given to Daniel. And that same spirit was what helped him excel. There's the same spirit that functioned with Jesus. He had wisdom. So there's the spirit of wisdom that can rest upon you and help you experience the kind of quantum leap that you want and help you attain academic excellence. So contend for it, pray for it, covet it. And I am going to end there tonight. Quantum leap is possible. You can move from the present level you are now to a higher level that you can imagine, and you can finish well and you can finish strong. Thank you very much, everyone. I think that's my time. All right, thank you. Over to the moderator for our questions. If you have questions, I think we can have them now.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ma. That's a packed section, a great packed section. These are sections that people pay money to get. Thank you very much, Ma. If you have any questions, please let's drop them in the group. We have just limited time. Thank you so much, Ma. So even as we are appreciating Mama Esther, please let us drop our questions if you have any questions now. Thank you so much, Ma. If you've learned something, can you please share with us in one word in the group? Thank you so much. Anything I pick is quantum leap towards excellence. Quantum leap to an excellent student life. When I saw the team, I was wondering how does quantum in physics have to do with being an excellent student again? But she has just given us a grand opening, and we are grateful so much. We're so grateful. So, do we have anyone with any question? I'm not seeing any question. It means that we don't have anybody with any question.
All right, can you hear me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. So I wanted to correct something. I'm not Mama, please. Let's be guided. Okay. Thank you. So I think we're supposed to have a question and answer session, and we're ending by 9 p.m. prompt because that's when the session ends. I would like to quickly go through the questions we have before we go. All right, so I'm hoping that we've gotten value from tonight's session. Tomorrow is going to be more. We're having 2 speakers and they're coming loaded. All right, someone said, how can someone fight against procrastination? It can help to have an accountability partner. If you can have an accountability partner, someone that will push you, someone that can always disturb your life, like really push you, not somebody that you don't respect, not somebody that even when they are talking to you, you don't really pay attention to, but someone you listen to that you can be accountable to. That would help to push procrastination away, right? Having an accountability partner. And also, if you set goals for yourself, keep reminding yourself every morning. Sometimes you can even want to write it out. Sometimes you want to say it aloud for yourself. It's easier not to procrastinate when you keep saying these things and you keep seeing it. All right. Adeke Faith is asking, how do I detach myself from friends? Hold on, let me stop sharing. Okay, how do I detach myself from friends that do not believe in academic excellence? Okay, how did you attach yourself to them? In the same way the truth is you begin to look out for people that are having the same goal as you, right? And when you begin to spend some more time with them, it's going to of course, there'll be limited time for you to start spending with the people that you know that do not be. It doesn't mean that you cut them off completely, actually, because the truth is we need different. That's why I said tribes of friends, right? If you're cooking a soup, it requires different ingredients. You should not only have friends that are only academics. Only that's the only thing that is a goal. That should not. It's good to have, but those are not the only. There are friends that also you should have that maybe that they are sharing the same faith as you, and they may not be chasing the academic excellence that you want, but that may be their own little impact. There are some that maybe have a little bit, good level of social life, and that's what they bring. They just give it that, enjoyment or fun that, because I believe that school shouldn't be only reading. There should be that social life as well. So you may now have a tribe of friends having different impact that they are bringing in. Everybody coming to your life is coming in for a purpose. Is that they add to you? Is that they take away from your life? Someone said is that they're adding to you, they're subtracting from your life, they are dividing and cutting off, or they're multiplying, adding value to you. So evaluate the friends you have. If the ones you have right now, they are not adding any value, then those are the ones to cut off. But if they are still having a level of value, you can still maintain relationship with them, but build more relationship with people that are really going to your direction. All right. So okay, you said there are people that believe book. Yeah, that's what I said. You may not need, if you know that they are still adding some value to your life, you may not need to cut them off completely. Just try to limit the time you spend with them to connect with people that are going your way. Right. I really tried to pray for the friends I had in school. Like before I went to school, I because I didn't have any friends. I didn't really have friends. I think I had maybe one. I went really so close. I didn't really have friends before going to school. I didn't really have friends. I was friendless, if that's a word. So I had to pray about it, that God should give me friends. And He blessed me with some amazing friends that I've met in school. So you can pray for these friends that you will bring them your way. Are you saying something? Gandono, you are muted. Are you saying something, please?
No, ma'am.
All right. Someone is asking, do you advise a student on how do you advise students on how to spend money and what they should spend money on, looking at reading and other things? Well, depends on how much you have, right? Financial intelligence is important. I'll say that's one thing one of our speakers will become to talk about, because you, as a student, you don't, like I was telling someone, you don't buy all textbooks, except it's compulsory, of course. I didn't have to buy all textbooks because I understood that the money is everywhere and I had to save. Like I saved enough. I had this colo, this piggy vest they call it, and that was one welded can where I saved money as a student. Then that by the time I finished school and I cut it open, I had enough to buy a laptop. Now that doesn't mean I had more than enough during those times. There were days when I was hungry, but I did not go and pick money from it. Like there were days when I would trek to school, and it doesn't mean that money was still there, because I understood that I must not spend more than I'm earning. So you have to also set priorities for yourself. What are things I need to spend money on? Again, don't save to the point where you are starving yourself. Don't try to say you want to manage, too much. Enjoy life as a student, but don't spend on everything. Don't use all your money. Like your wife will say, like, not use all your money to eat. Don't use everything at once as you earn it. As a student, you should have what we call financial intelligence. Our speakers will speak more on this when the session comes. Again, don't miss tomorrow. All right. Someone is asking a course to do you advise a student to have course preferences? You may have courses that you enjoy more, right? You may have courses that lecturers, you know that some lecturers can make you like a course. Some lecturers can make you dislike a course. So sometimes it may happen. It's beyond your power sometimes. But even the ones you don't like are the ones you should now focus more on when reading, so that you don't have an issue with them. Because the ones you have preferences on will be easier to read, will be easier to pass than the ones you don't really like. Do you understand? So focus more on that. So how did I solve my problem of sleeping? How did I forced myself to stop. I don't know. I had to. It was hard. I tell you, the old 100 level, my alarm that was doing 601, 602, I will keep putting it up. Remember, it will ring. I won't wake up. My roommate that will wake up and be putting it up. I was disturbing the whole house. I was not waking up. So it was not bad, but I didn't stop the whole alarm. I continued. And at a point, I started forcing myself, like, okay, even now, when I wake up, immediately I get up. I don't lie down and wait a bit. I immediately jump up on the bed. And if I need to wake up to pray, because I start off with that, I need to wake up, I don't sit down or lie on my bed to be praying. I jump up and start walking around. Or if it means you're going to wash your face, whatever it is, look for something that can help you. So I think we'll stop there because of time. How does one get free from social media addiction? You can uninstall the apps. Yes, and there are some apps that help you to lock those apps. If you know you're addicted to them, uninstall them, take a break. Take social media, what's it called now? Fast. Yeah, it's a fast. So you can take a social media fast and take some off time with it. How can someone balance those business? And yeah, I've spoken about that. Don't leave anyone for the other. They can try build a system and structure that would work for you. Okay. So I think because of time, I like to stick with time that we don't shoot beyond that. That will be all the questions we'll be able to ask me. Tomorrow we'll be speaking on career and skill acquisition. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. We're having an international speaker coming to speak with us. So don't miss that. And please invite more people. I believe you've learned from today's session. Tell your friends about it. They should not miss it. Tell more people to be here. And I'll see you in our next session rather. If you haven't followed our social media page, now is the time to do that. Please do well to follow us on social media and make sure you don't miss tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have an amazing evening. I will see you tomorrow by what time? What time are we meeting tomorrow? Before I go, what time are we meeting tomorrow? Anybody? What time are we meeting tomorrow? What time are we meeting tomorrow? If somebody says 7 to 9, they lie. 6:45 p.m. 6:45 p.m. this time. I'm coming here to join by 6:45 p.m. Let's be timely. If you notice, I'm trying to end at the right time, so we have to be here earlier. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening, everyone. Share what you learned in the group chat, and enjoy your weekend. Bye, everyone.